You might be wondering why the birth of a gorilla is given more attention than other animals having offspring. This case is given special attention because this story is the story of Kalaya, a western lowland gorilla. The western lowland gorillas are known to be on the most critically endangered species list. The exact number of their population is not yet known, but they are usually isolated in the forests of the Republic of Congo and remote rainforests in Africa. Gorillas live in groups called troops, which are typically composed of a silverback male, one or more blackback males, several adult females, and their infant and juvenile offspring. This is the story of one of western lowland gorillas named Calaya. Kalaya was being looked after at the Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute. Despite her mother being there with her, the zoo staff treated Kalaya with much love, care, and attention. It was because Kalaya was such a lovely and friendly gorilla. Here is the story of Kalaya and how she got pregnant as 15-year-old gorilla and how her motherhood journey went. Usually, gorillas give birth at the age of 10, so the first thing that did not happen to Kalaya was that she did not get pregnant at the age of 10. She was less social and mostly avoided other members of her group. That made the staff think that maybe Kalaya cannot have a baby in her later years. But still, the trials for Kalaya to conceive were there. After a few years, when she bred with Braca, the father gorilla, in the summer of 2017, the animal care staff seemed readily optimistic about Kalaya's expecting a baby. When gorillas are pregnant, symptoms they show are tiredness, nausea, and low appetite. She was showing symptoms like nursing other infants that were near her mother. To confirm the news, Kalaya's pregnancy test was taken. It was similar to the ones used for women, the standard human pregnancy test. The first test showed negative results, but the symptoms were still there. One of the staff members who noticed the change in Kalaya's behavior in the first place insisted for a second pregnancy test to be taken. The other test was taken after a month, and the staff members were eagerly waiting for the result, and to their surprise, it came out positive. They all screamed with joy and excitement for Kalaya to become a mother. The staff members were happy, but they were concerned for Kalaya too. They worked hard to make sure Kalaya's needs were being fulfilled. They made sure to provide her with all the necessary nutrition and nourishment she required to be a new mom. Her training included providing her with toys that Kalaya treated like an infant. She took the toys and held them closer to her chest, treating them like infants. She was well prepared incredibly. Melba Brown, the animal keeper, observed that Kalaya learned a lot easier by watching other gorillas and how they do things, she would copy them. It helped Brown know how to train Kalaya for the tests like ultrasound, urinating for hormone tests, and even breast manipulation and nutrition assessment. Kalaya's maternal qualities were reinforced by Brown. She was trained to nurse the plush by putting it up to her chest whenever she was asked to. The observation that Brown made was so helpful in knowing that Kalaya learned a lot from videos and pictures, which showed how to take care of the infant. This method was also used for the training. Kalaya reached her 7th month of pregnancy, and the staff members were very excited and nervous. The staff members even named the unborn baby. The name they chose for the baby was Mookie, which means little one in Lingala, an African language. The labor pain for gorillas does not include symptoms similar to humans. Unlike humans, it is hard to guess if a gorilla is in labor. A similar thing happened to Kalaya, but the staff knew it was time for her to give birth. Finally, the day arrived for Kalaya to give birth. On the 15th of April, around 6:25 p.m., Kalaya gave birth to Mookie. It took Kalaya 12 hours of labor, the staff members even recording the giving birth event on camera. And as soon as baby Mookie was born, Kalaya took it and gave kisses to baby Mookie. The staff members of the zoo explained how well Kalaya was doing as a mom after Mookie's birth. She became more active and social, unlike before. She used to build a nest and isolate herself, but not after the birth of Mookie. It was almost a decade that a western lowland gorilla was born into the Smithsonian's National Zoo and Conservation Biology Institute. The curator of primates, Meredith Bastian, said that the birth of this baby gorilla is not just a good and precious thing for the zoo, but for the critically endangered species of lowland gorillas as well. She also mentioned how happy she was with her team for all the efforts they made to make it happen. Kalaya was provided with her own place at the zoo, where she can be alone with Mookie whenever she needed to be. The staff was always observing any signs for Kalaya to know if she wants to be alone, or if being around people made her uncomfortable or concerned about her child, but she did not display such signs. The way people were allowed in the zoo to visit Kalaya and Mookie, but the observation was still just made to make sure things go well for Kalaya and her baby Mookie. Giving birth is not an easy task for gorillas. Sometimes they need extra help and resources in order to give birth to a healthy baby. Here is another similar story we have here is the gorilla at the Philadelphia Zoo. In 2016, a gorilla named Kira tested positive after her pregnancy test. Each member of the staff was excited for her to give birth. They had witnessed gorilla deliveries before, and their case history were all regarding normal deliveries. But this time, it did not turn out to be as easy as the zookeepers witnessed gorilla deliveries before. This one turned out to be a bit different. Kira went into labor during the evening and did not act normal, as she moved her arms above her head and was moving like she was very uncomfortable. Although gorillas act so normal during their labor, there is something hard to figure out if they are in labor or not. The staff waited till midnight, but her condition was the same, so they decided to leave Kira there, so she can have a normal delivery till morning. In the morning when they revisited Kira, to their astonishment, Kira was not in the same condition. Instead, her condition was getting worse. They tried to feed her, but she refused to eat anything. She was exhausted from the all-night-long labor, with no clue about what to do next. The staff members thought about a solution and came up with the idea to have a C-section on Kira, so that her baby and her life could be saved. They called the hospital as they needed an OB/GYN, and Rebecca picked it up. The zoo members informed her about the gorilla's situation, and they told Rebecca to put Kira under anesthesia or even perform a C-section. Despite all that, she agreed to do the operation. After 20 minutes of driving, Rebecca reached the zoo and went straight to Kira and admitted her. Rebecca did a thorough ultrasound and luckily, the baby's heartbeats were normal. She looked for where the problem relied upon and found out that it was the baby's head bent down, which caused the issue. The idea of the C-section was denied as it took a long time to recover, so they looked forward to Rebecca for a solution. She thought for a while and then decided to sedate Kira, and then she made a small neck in Kira's perineum so that the baby can have enough space to come out. Then Rebecca took a deep breath and pulled the baby out slowly. "The baby is doing fine," she screamed with joy. All the staff members had tears of joy to see the baby and mother in a good health. After the sedation took its time, Kira was conscious. She was given her baby. Both shared a very inseparable bond. These were the stories of how the journey from pregnancy to childbirth is for gorillas. Kalaya, one of the rarest species of gorillas on Earth, and Kira going through a tough time during labor. But both our stories have a happy ending that we all loved. Thank you all for watching. See you in our next video.